Danny Garcia shocked the boxing world by revealing that he is considering hanging his gloves after fighting against ERIS LARA on the 14th.
Has it come across your mind like, hey, if I win this title, yeah, you know what? That'd be a good moment to just thank you, fans. Like that's it. I'm done. Mission accomplished.
Yeah, I thought about it. I'm not gonna lie. I did think about it a few times. Like, you know what? That'd be a hell of a way to walk away from the sport. And that's how every fighter should walk away, as a champion, you know, or trying to be great. You know, if that last fight is a risk taker or you're just trying to be great, you really can't be mad at it. You know, that's what every great champion should try to be, is chase greatness at the end of his career.
The Philly superstar had a detailed conversation with Fife Up on the back seat of his Cybertruck. Here, Danny expressed his desire to add a belt under his name before saying goodbye to the sport. Having Zab Judah, Sean Porter, Paulie Malignaggi, and Errol Spence in his resume, Danny has everything except the current middleweight champion status. The fight between Danny and Lara is the co-main event of the Canelo Berlanga headliner. It didn't make much noise until the announcement of Danny's retirement. On the other hand, his 41-year-old Cuban-American opponent can also leave boxing if an upset happens. The matchup is so stern that it has perplexed the boxing world to predict a clear winner. Let's start with Danny's former opponent, Paulie Malignaggi, who has shared the ring with him. Paulie finds it very hard to assess Danny's current after the 2-year layoff and was hesitant in making a prediction.
But I think when you're a timing fighter to this degree, activity really matters. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how much time you spend in the gym, only Danny knows that. But I think when you're a timing fighter to the level of Danny is, activity really matters, and having been inactive for a while.
However, Paulie has no skepticism about Danny's skills and boxing attributes. He thinks that Danny is looking much stronger and bigger after his jump to the middleweight division and can cause some turbulence in the ring against the defending champion. The boxer turned TV analyst continued.
While Danny's a big timing fighter. He's not the most athletic guy, but he's a solid timing fighter. Very, very good timing. And he makes his style work for him very, very nicely against maybe even guys who are more physically, athletically gifted. His timing has figured out ways to consistently supersede the speed of guys and even the different advantages other guys may have had, and he's done that very, very well.
However, Paulie's fellow analyst at the ProBox TV, Chris Algieri, thinks that this fight will not be that easy for the Swift Garcia. Moreover, he criticized the way Danny was handed over the shot at the title despite having zero experience in the 160-pound division.
Now, let's talk about Danny Garcia in terms of this. He's had one win in the last 4 years, and he's never fought at this weight class. How do you walk into a world title fight? Name recognition. That's how.
Furthermore, Chris also highlighted Lara's previous fights that he won convincingly without getting a single bruise and added, "People say Danny is well rested for this fight. Is he more rested than Lara? Lara has fought 11 rounds in his last 3 fights against 3 overmatched guys that really didn't stand a chance against him. Only Gary O'Sullivan went the most rounds." After leaving the Mayweather promotions, Leonard Elub is advocating for Danny and other PBC fighters. He is featured at all the PBC events and was present at the media workout of the 14th September Undercard Fighters, where he shared what he thinks of Danny's legacy. Watching both fighters evolve over the past decade, Elub expressed his respect for Garcia, asserting that a victory over Lara would solidify his legacy. He said, "If Danny can pull it off, I think he goes into the Hall of Fame. He will join the Elite Company." Elub also shared that Lara's favorite spot in this fight won't be a problem for Danny. Throughout his career, Danny Garcia was an underdog, but nobody was really able to beat him down. Leonard suggested that at 41 years old, Lara can no longer move as he once did. His thoughts about the dynamics of this fight were, "It's going to be a great fight. Lara's style now, he sits down more on his punches and he doesn't move a lot. It will be a very good, fan-friendly fight." Chris Algieri agreed with Leonard Elub's statement and expanded it. Chris thinks that Danny is already in the league of the Boxing Hall of Famers. The former WBO junior welterweight champion added,
He skipped the weight class. So if he's to win against Lara, 40-pound champ, 47-pound champ, skips 54, 60-pound champ. That would be one for the history books as well. Yeah, he wins this fight, guaranteed he's in the Hall of Fame, no question. I think he's already going to be in the Hall of Fame based on what he's been able to accomplish thus far.
Chris believes that Danny is coming back after the 2-year layoff just to cement his legacy in the boxing world. Swift Garcia has already started his promotional company and is not financially troubled like Money Mayweather. He added, "What is Danny's motivation to come back and take this fight anyway? Is it money? I don't think so. This is more of his drive to fight. This world title fight, skipping 2 weight classes. This is about legacy. And, listen, if he wins that fight, he is locked for the Hall of Fame, first ballot maybe." WBA Intercontinental Champion Kyron Aaron Davis is coming fresh after a win over Elijah Garcia, and he doesn't see this matchup as one-sided. He talked about the potential of both fighters. When YSM Sports Media asked him about a prediction, he had this to say.
Who wins that fight? Yeah. I think it's a really good competitive fight. We have to see how much Danny has left, see how much Laura has left. I think it's a good crossroads fight. I think it's a fight that could have been happening, but you know, it's good that it's happening now. I think it's an interesting fight. You know, you got the stick boxer, who's also a puncher. You got Danny Garcia, who's a great counter puncher. Always finds a way to stay close in the fight, no matter what. So I think it's a good fight. I don't really have a winner in that fight. I go back and forth about who I think is going to win. I wouldn't bet on that fight. It's just too unpredictable.
Chiron saw this fight as a draw and concluded that he would never gamble his money on this fight. The US fighter verdict: I don't really have a winner in that fight. I go back and forth about thinking who is going to win. I wouldn't bet on this fight. It's just too unpredictable. Greg Hackett is another amazing boxer who has given his huge predictions for the co-main event of 14th September. Greg believes that Lara will dictate the fight, and Danny will have to keep himself at a distance at first.
I mean, from what I've been seeing from Lara, that left hand, he on fire with that left hand. He know when to fire it. He know how to set it up. I mean, he know how to get you to react, to open up for the left hand. That's what I see. If Danny could get away from that left hand, not get away as in run, but when he fire that motherfucker, don't be right there. But he got to be able to counter. If Danny not countering, if Danny not going to the body, it's going to be some trouble with it.
His fellow boxing trainer Evan Robinson thinks that Danny Garcia is going to be easy work for Lara. He mentioned that this will be the first time Danny Garcia is lined against someone whose punches will go through him.
I like Lara, man. I think he punches for the first time in Danny's career. He's finally going to get a puncher who's going to punch back at him, who can punch through him. So I'm kind of seeing how his defense is going to work and how he's going to be able to come back with his shot. And you know, Lawrence still can box. So if he got to get on his bike, he still got that Cuba in him. He can still do that. It may not be as good, but he can still do a little bit of it.
Lara is also very confident about his prowess and doesn't see Garcia as a big threat. He aims at knocking him out in the same manner as his previous 3 fights. The current champion declared, Danny Garcia is a great fighter and multiple division world champion, and like me, he's one of the best fighters of this generation. This is going to be the fight of the night. I knocked out my last 3 opponents, and I'm training to make it 4. He admitted that the fight is not going to be easy work, but Danny won't bring anything to the table that he hasn't faced. Every fight at the championship level is tough and has its challenges. ERIS is preparing hard for his title defense and believes that his experience fighting at this weight will be a big advantage. Despite being 41, he came to the media workout with a physique that made everything clear. Despite his prime ending with every passing day, Lara still believes his work in the gym will be enough to ensure a dominant victory. He wants the title to remain in his possession as long as he's active. The champ added, I'm very happy with the work I've been putting in during this training camp. We've had a lot of time to work on fighting Danny Garcia, so we're prepared for what he brings. He's a very powerful puncher with both hands, so I've had to tighten up and make a few adjustments to my defense. Moreover, ERIS also confirmed that there won't be any application of a rehydration clause in their fight, and it will take place at 157-pound catchweight with his belt on the stake.
Is the fight going to be at 460 pounds or 155?
¿Será un catchweight o tiene que...?
Catchweight va a ser en las 157 libras.
157 pound catchweight. ¿Hay rehydration clause de rehydración?
No.
No rehydration clause.
Good.
On the other hand, Lara's opponent also expressed similar sentiments. Danny is not worried about the outcome of his fight after a 2-division jump and declares that he is going to end Lara in a stoppage. Danny told the media in his open workout session that he is going for a war and will dominate every round. Talking about the Cuban boxer's recent opponents, the Swift added, I can tell you one thing, they ain't Danny Garcia. If he thinks he's gonna knock me out, he better keep his eyes open because he might get knocked out. If I would have listened to them, I wouldn't be here right now. It's all good. As long as I believe in myself 100%, that's all that really matters. Danny's father and boxing trainer Angel Garcia is sure of winning this fight and securing a place in the Hall of Fame, but he knows that Lara won't be a quick jolt for his son. He praised the Cuban fighter and gathered these thoughts.
I went through a little bit, but I'm good. I'm good. No, I got to get on my A game. Ray, we ready to fight Lara. Lara no slouch. So we got to be in our A game. No matter what happens, I got to be on my A game.
Although coming after a 2-year layoff and jumping up 2 weight divisions, Danny is very sure about fighting against the current champion. He boosted his lengthy resume, which includes wins over Eric Morales, Zab Judah, and Lemond Peterson, along with some controversial defeats to Keith Thurman and Sean Porter. The 36-year-old Philadelphian made his 154-pound debut in July 2022 with a majority decision win over Joseph Benavidez Jar and hasn't competed since. He claimed, "Lara is definitely very skilled, but I've faced so many highly skilled fighters throughout my career, from Zab Judah and Amir Khan to Keith Thurman and so many more. I feel like I've always done a solid job with southpaws as well. You have to look at it the other way too, because I'm definitely the best fighter he's fought in a long time." Danny Garcia is the former unified 140-pound champion and 147-pound title holder. He rose to prominence with an upset 4th-round knockout victory over Amir Khan in 2012 and made his name after beating Paulie Malignaggi and a dominant victory over Lucas Mathis the following year. But earlier in June, Garcia made an effort to impress the boxing fans outside the ropes. He launched a boxing promotions company by his boxing middle name and hinted that he would leave the fighting soon. At the inaugural ceremony of this organization, Danny announced, "I'm honored to launch Swift Promotions on Saturday, June 15 at Boardwalk Hall in Atlantic City, New Jersey. The venue has been home to many historic fights, and we're thrilled to promote our first show there. I've wanted to start promoting for a couple of years, and this is a great opportunity to showcase the top young talent." Danny also explained that it was always his dream to serve the sport as a matchmaker after hanging his gloves. The first fighter he signed was Juan Johnny Different Breed Rivera. He explained about the promotion business and his idol in this game. Surprisingly, it was Oscar De La Hoya that made Danny come into this business. Danny explained his admiration for the Golden Boy and said, "Oscar built champions, and it is something that I want to do. Trust is the biggest thing. I will try and keep my name clean and do right by my fighters. Boxing can be a dirty business, but if I keep being myself and stay honest, it will be okay. My sales pitch will be getting people to come and watch them fight. I want to be a mentor to these young kids." Moreover, Danny explained that he is coming into the promotion business completely because of the betterment of American boxing, and he has no other obligation with it. He affirmed that his biggest accomplishment as a promoter will be to guide young fighters on making their money work for them and how to save it for the time when their careers are over. He added, "It is a short time on the top, and these young kids think the money and the fame lasts forever. It doesn't. It is why I went back and invested in myself and my community, buying property and building my own gym and my shops. I have a stock portfolio. My money works for me. It is something I want to teach these fighters. I built my future inside the ring. It goes beyond that. Nothing happens overnight." At the end of his lengthy session with Fight Hub, Danny got emotional on the idea of moving on. He requested his fans to continue supporting him in the way they did.
Thanks for all my fans who believed in me since day one. You know, DAG, don't stop grinding. That's what we represent. You know, represent the underdog. And me being an underdog for 12 years shows you that the underdog can be on top. So I appreciate everybody. And just make sure you tune in September 14th as we chase history.
So, this fight is going to be a big moment for American boxing, where a division champion enters the ring for the last time. What are your predictions? Who's winning? Is there a stoppage expected? Tell us in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel.